trying to get me into soccer. He was sending me random pictures of guys, and I was like, yeah, I could get into that. And so now I have his shirt, and my son has his number. So
Weirdly enough, how that worked out. That's
exactly
coincidental because Scotty's no longer his coach. It's weird how that worked out.
exactly. And then my last honorable mention is a gentleman that we got the honor of seeing live, and I believe
a couple of times
yeah,
too.
Danny Goki, local guy.
Awesome guy.
I've loved him since
Day one on Idol.
Yeah.
Day one on Idol.
Before I even knew he was from this area, I was like, I like this guy, and
one of the best seasons of Idol ever, by the way.
exactly.
If anyone wants to know a great season of Idol, we'll talk about this later on another show, because I do want to do an Idol show. This is the last season coming up, but you know what I mean? Because that's how we met, with Idol.
Exactly.
And we do have to do an Idol show together, but season 8 might have been one of the best seasons ever. So if anyone wants to go back to a great Idol season, that was it.
Well, which leads me to my number one, which
Go ahead.
based by trial elimination or whatever.
If you know her at all, you're ready to figure this out. Go ahead.
Exactly.
Make it official.
My number one is Thomas Luther Bryan, also known.
Her name's Thomas. Are
Yes,
you serious?
Thomas Luther.
I did not know that. Go ahead.
Also known as Luke Bryan, the man with the best ass in country music.
Wow. Yeah, I'm just letting you talk because I know how much you love the guy.
I love him. The southern drawl, the jeans, the backwards hat, like, yes. Probably one of the best concerts I've ever been to was the first time that I saw him.
Yes. Wasn't the Florida Georgia Line also in that
It
one?
was Florida Georgia Line and Thompson Square, and
you met him too, though.
I met him, and I was in the 4th row, and it was
That's
just
a great video, that one.
yeah,
Didn't
it
you?
was
That
just
great video?
a fantastic show. He knows how to work a crowd, and that was money that was well
there are
spent.
many concerts you can honestly say are as well as money well worth it, but that one.
Yeah, and he's actually one of the few people that I've seen multiple times in concerts.
And that's rare for you.
I try not to see people multiple times. Actually, my number one on the female list is someone that I've seen multiple times. So that
Well,
right.
probably someone I'll bring up in a second too.
So.
I don't know how that worked out, by the way, but.
Exactly.
I was actually trying to look up. There's actually audio we recorded. No, actually, on the Blake and Sal Show YouTube page is the videos that you shot at that concert. I remember they're up there, so people can see the videos you shot at that concert. I just remember that. So, let me do my honorable mentions. Mine kind of grew a little bit, and honestly enough, it's 3 wrestling people and 2 people from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm not going to know how that happened. I'll do the wrestling ones first. It's from Ring of Honor. Someone who I just recently met, actually, and I was really excited about. Scarlett Bordeaux, who is actually from Chicago. And she's just freaking hot. And she just missed a cup because of Renee Young. Just be honest here. Bailey's best friend in the whole world, Carmella, who's on Enzo and Kaz, who I did not like when she first came out, but now that I've gotten to know her more, I actually really like. I have this weird little crush on Sasha Banks, so I had to just shout her out on here. I had to. And then you have, from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Chloe Bennett, who is Sky, a.k.a. Daisy, on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and Adrienne Palicki, who is, I can't think of her name right now on the show, because I know her as 2 different names, so I'm trying to remember what people would know her as. Danny on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So there you go. My number one should be obvious. Anyone knows me, this has not changed at all since American Idol Season 1. Let's just be honest here. And that is the who we've seen in concert.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen her in concert, and it was awesome. And didn't she bust up her ankle at our show?
Sure did.
She busted up her ankle. And I blame the guy that performed before her, by the way, not her, for that. The amazing Kelly Clarkson. And I just want to note something about Kelly. I know you're going to bring her up again later. A lot of people give her crap for gaining weight and all this stuff. You know what? I think she's one of the most real people in the industry because she doesn't let that bother her. And I respect that so much. You know, because, yeah, she's gained some weight here and there. She's also had kids. She also had a kid. She's pregnant again, right?
Yes.
So she's having her second kid. And she's been up and down in weight. And she's even openly admitted, I'm a female. I bloat. It happens. Deal with it. You know, and I appreciate and respect that. So I just want to throw that out there, that I think she's amazing no matter what she looks like. And she's always beautiful in my eyes no matter what. So, honey, will we continue on, or do you want to wait till later on Kelly?
I'll talk about Kelly later.
Okay, cool. So let's jump over to the same-sex list, which should be interesting. Very, very interesting. So, honey, why don't you start us off at number 5 on yours on the same-sex side?
Okay, so my number 5 and my first honorable mention really can be flip-flopped, pending.
It surprised me when you actually said, when I read the list, I was surprised by that.
I mean, it can really, it depends on my
on the week?
Yeah.
On the week?
So just keep that in mind when I mention my honorable mentions later.
Right.
But my number 5 right now is Becky Lynch from WWE, The Last Kicker.
This surprises me. I'm not going to lie. I did not see this one coming.
I think it's just her attitude, and she's kind of a badass, and the orange hair, and she just doesn't give a fuck.
It's true.
And
she doesn't.
I think that you're attracted to people who are kind of what you want to be. So
she is awesome. I did not see that one coming. I'm not going to lie. I didn't expect that at all. It was a nice surprise when you mentioned that to me. I was like, okay, Becky Lynch. All right, then. But she's actually surprisingly hot. Like, when you don't look at her, you don't notice it at first, but you really watch her matches, she's surprisingly hot. You know? All right. This is where things get interesting. Number 5, for me, it's from the Glee days. And it's the first person I've ever actually admitted on this podcast I had a man crush on. I'll openly say that. It's the first person I've ever said on this podcast that. And I know I got a giggle out of Sal when I said it. And that was from Glee, and that was Darren Criss, who's now on Broadway again. And I want to see him on stage eventually. I really do want to see him on stage. And maybe he goes back to the Warblers and all that kind of fun stuff that went on at the beginning of season 2. But I thought he was awesome. I always did. And I kind of, I don't know. It's just amazing.
I knew he was going to be on your list.
He knew. It was obvious. So, continue on, baby.
My number 4, she is a lot prettier in real life than she is on TV because she plays a pregnant inmate.
Oh, we're already in the Black World, aren't we?
Yes. So my number 4 is Dasha Polanco, who people will also know as Dayanara Diaz.
From Orange is the New Black. I don't watch this show. Because you're the only person on this podcast that actually watches this show, can you just tell me, how is it?
I like the show. I think it's very dark and gritty, however. It's definitely not for everyone.
I'm just wondering, because I never expected you to really get into it, and you love it. So that's why I was wondering.
Yeah, I like it. But, so Dasha Polanco, she, as I think, minus Becky and my number 1, I like curvy Latinas.
It's true.
So,
well, it helps that you are one.
Yeah. So,
and a beautiful one at that.
Thank you. But she is a curvy Latina, so.
All right. This one's going to make my normal co-host, like, freak out. I'm just letting you know that. At number 4. I know he's madly in love with him.
Okay.
Madly in love with him. And I had to hear him geek out when we went to see Captain America 2 together. And that is Captain America himself, Chris Evans. And I tried to avoid the hype with him. I really did try to avoid the hype. But fucking hell! I don't know what it is, but I don't know!
I like Chris Pratt more.
Oh, and for those, he's all over the place, Chris Pratt now. He's huge. He's ridiculously big right now. I don't think I have to tell anybody where he's from.
If I have to pick one of those superhero guys,
yes.
Obviously besides Mark Ruffalo.
Of course. Who you love. I know you love him too.
I'd have to go with Pratt over Evans.
I'm just saying, this is
Pine? Evans? Who did you
Chris
pick?
Evans.
Evans? Okay. Well, yeah.
That's fine. It's fine. That makes sense, actually. That actually makes sense for you. I'm not going to lie. All right. I'm just going to make a note. That's the only thing now on here, my top 5 outside of wrestling. So go ahead.
My number 3 is your number 2.
Ah, yes.
So, it is Bailey, who is also Latina.
Yes. And we were going with real names earlier. Pamela Martinez.
Yep.
By the way.
I admit I did make fun of her at first, but with the inflatable wacky tube men and just the weird,
I love them. Sorry, I love those.
The weird gimmick, but I think like as she was trying to get to the title, you got to see more of her personality, and I think she's adorable, but dead ass dough.
I hear that all. I hear a lot of people that love her ass. It's a big deal. Can't argue that. So, and everyone knows my love for Bailey, so I already praised her earlier. All right.
I have a Bailey shirt.
Yes, I bought her a Bailey shirt, and Bailey actually retweeted her in the Bailey shirt, which is a big deal. It's pretty cool. So, oh no, you did your hair. You did your hair as you retweeted it.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. Anyway, look at it. It was still pretty cool. By the way, with your hair the way it is, you pull off the Bailey look really well.
I was going to say, I think that's why you like my hair long.
Well, I like your hair long anyway, but you do the Bailey look really well. I find out that. So, now we get into the wrestling portion of my top 5. Want to note that. And, this took a little bit of a change up from when we originally were going to do this, because I forgot somebody, and until I went to Ring of Honor recently, and I'm like, oh fuck, how did I forget about him? And I'll get to him later. But number 3 is a guy who I got to meet at a Ring of Honor show, my first Ring of Honor show, actually. 3 years ago now, so long ago now. But, he's currently on the WWE roster, and he's probably had one of the best years I've ever seen, because he's NXT champion and now the IC champion. He is Kevin Owens. I met him as Kevin Steen. The big guy, lovable guy. Probably one of the best parents in wrestling, by the way. I want to note that also. He's just a great guy. He loves the zoo. If anyone wants to note that part, he loves going to the zoo. I heard that on Steve Austin's podcast. He's a big guy. He's a nice guy. And he reminds me of me in the wrestling ring, if being really honest with you. And maybe it's also for me seeing the big guys being agile and good in the ring, which is awesome for me too. So go ahead.
So what you're trying to say is you have a crush on yourself.
Not on myself. That would be the Big Show. As he did when Ugly put me all the time. Oh, did you see that he got a Big Show book? Because it reminded me of me, and he wants me to read it with him this week.
Oh, from the library?
Yeah.
Aw.
That's cool. I forgot I told you that. So anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's fantastic. But I think he's a little bit too much like you for me to want to put him on a freebie list.
That's pretty good. It's pretty funny when you put it that way.
However, I would just like to say that he won't be Intercontinental Champion for long if Dean Ambrose gets his way.
Yes. The Ambrose Owens match is on officially, by the way.
Hashtag Dean for champ.
Yes, that is officially on now. So, all right, move on, baby. Back to you.
All right. My number 2 is my Glee girl crush. She is part of Quintana. She is part of Britannia.
The legendary Britannia.
Yes. Santana Lopez, played by Naya Rivera, who is just hot. The end.
There is no other word for that. There is no other word for that.
Yep.
So, you loved her from day one. Day one. Maybe more season 2. More season 2. Day 1, she was kind of a bitch.
Yeah.
Season 2, she was... I think when she started being her own character.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what it was. Her own badass character in season 2.
As a character, Santana was just... She was bitchy. She didn't care. She was sarcastic, and yeah.
I know exactly what you're saying. Now, my number 2 is somebody who I one time had a lot of T-shirts for. I got them for free from TNA.
Sure did.
But thanks to you. Was it you that
yep.
did that one? But I finally got to meet him early this year, or late last year at Ring of Honor. And I got to see him wrestle in person for the last couple of shows. And I forgot to put him on my list originally, and I was very mad at myself. And I'm at the Ring of Honor show, and I literally am at the Ring of Honor show, and I broke out my list to put him on there as I'm sitting at the Ring of Honor show. And it is the phenomenal one, AJ Styles.
I know Sal approves of that one.
one of those underappreciated guys that no one really thinks about anymore because he is on the New Japan Ring of Honor rosters and not on the main rosters of regular shows anymore.